What's going on, people? It's your boy Mo, aka the Hoop Genius, back with another Viziball breakdown, and today we are talking about pace. What is pace when it comes to NBA teams? Well, it's the number of possessions that they have during the 48 minutes of play. Obviously some exceptions for overtime, but it's an average of the number of possessions a team has in the game. We're going to look back at some former champions right now and the pace at which they played. The Lakers in the bubble had a pace of 101.7. That means they had 101 possessions in a game on average, and they played very well throughout that bubble season. But the Toronto Raptors the year before had a pace of 100.9, which again is very similar to that 100 mark that the Lakers had. They were 17th in the league, the Lakers were 15th in the league, but the Golden State Warriors from 2015-2016, this is why we say the Golden State Warriors influenced the NBA so much, because when they came along on the board, when they were going up against the Toronto Raptors, the league had caught up. But back at the prime of their run, before they got started, they had a pace of 100.7. Again, very similar to the Lakers and the Raptors, but what you'll notice here is that they were second in the league. Once the Golden State Warriors came on the scene, the rest of the teams decided to try and speed up their pace of play to catch up with the Golden State Warriors. Here they are 4 years before the Lakers championship, putting up a pace of over 100 possessions per game, and that's why we say they're one of the most influential teams of recent times. They all had a very similar pace, and it's basically saying they all had almost the same amount of possessions per game during their seasons in which they won their respective championships. Usually the minimum pace in a season is between 95 and 98, and the maximum is usually 106 to 107. So we're going to look at the highest pace this season, the Washington Wizards, with 105.8. That's why I said the maximum pace is usually around 106 or 107, and the Wizards had a very high pace this year, probably because they had Russell Westbrook on their roster. That's why the Lakers' pace next season is going to pick up, because we all know how Russell Westbrook can collect the ball off the glass, push the ball in transition, and really cause problems for the other team with that explosiveness that he has. You can see where they ranked this season. The Warriors were still up there, but Russell Westbrook doing what he does best, attacking at the basket, not wasting any time with the shot clock. But let's look back at the highest pace in 1997. That was only 97.8. So obviously back in the day in the 90s NBA, the pace was a lot slower on average, but you can see the Celtics were getting out on the fast break, putting on showcases for the fans. Even though the 90s weren't a truly successful period for the Celtics, they still came out and played fast. The Lakers obviously up there with their roots in Showtime, which really pushed the pace back in the 1980s, but the Boston Celtics had the highest pace in that 1997 season. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and tell a friend, and we'll see you soon.